Hello, gods, goddesses, fairies, and everything in between, my divine beings in general, okay? I'm just going to jump right into it and explain why I stopped my spiritual consultations, aka tarot readings. Now, there were a couple of things even entering into that whole entire card reading world that I was skeptical of. But my whole journey is about heightening my spirituality and being closer, and being in in tune with my intuition. Now, I know a lot of people who are spiritual, they kind of dabble into that card reading world. And that's totally fine. Like, I'm not opposed to it. I've had readings before, and a lot of it were true to me. And some of the readings that I've had, I had to sit back and really think about to see if that's something that's manifested, or could possibly manifest into my life. On that note, for me, before entering, I was saying, hey, I'm just doing this to get closer to my spirituality. And once keep saying spirituality, my intuition, my higher self. And once I hit that mark, hey, maybe I'll stop, maybe I'll keep going. That was my mentality entering it. So I did a couple of free readings, and they were great. They were phenomenal. I had phenomenal people. I had understanding people who understood my journey and how I was really there to help them out. And I did explain that I was, very new into the whole card reading world, and they were very understanding with that. And they took my information however they did. A lot of people, it served a lot of purpose for a lot of people, and I am so happy that it did. To anyone who has had a reading with me, our time was phenomenal, and I hope you all can agree with that. I had a good time. It felt like they had a good time, and it was just good vibes all around, and very accurate information, I must say. Now, getting into the process of any act of spirituality, whether it's, you are lighting your candle for a purpose, you're meditating, you are intentionally manifesting, or you are one of those people that receive messages from spirit, or if you see things, you all know that that all of these things take energy, and they all take time. And the deeper you get into it, the more energy and time you have to put into it. I, unfortunately, was not in a place, and I'm still not in a place where I can take up a whole bunch of time and a whole bunch of energy, because yes, I have a calling, but truly, and we'll get into that, I don't think card reading is it, but we'll get into that. Yes, I have a calling, but right now, I don't have the time or the energy to really dedicate to just one person at a time, other than someone, outside of my family. Just because it takes a lot. And if you get into your spiritual journey, you have to take time to sit there and get on a level where you can receive messages, or you can just block out a certain period and get into a certain zone. That's all it really requires you to get into that certain zone. And I have days where I have an off day, I have an on day, and just during that time, there were more off days than on days, and I just couldn't mix the energies, because that throws off a reading or a consultation. And that's one thing. So there is one, why I knew what I was doing with my journey with the consultations, the tarot readings. Two, it was taking a lot of time and energy from myself. And 3, it didn't feel natural to me. I am highly intuitive, and I felt like I needed clearer messages. Well, to be honest, I was just being lazy because the messages I needed were coming in, but I wasn't doing the work to decipher what the message was. And a lot of it, because I had a lot of low vibrational times in that period, my ego was more in the way of me receiving clear, intuitive messages that I would normally get, and I would normally understand, and that I would normally not have to question. And that's not fair to anyone. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to the person getting the reading, because they want their messages. They don't want the stress and the weight of your day into their reading. They want you to be clear and concise, and that's understood. And I felt like in that period, or in that time, and even going forward, I'm not really interested in doing cards because of that. Another big thing I would have to say is, this was really big. I hate it when something's on your mind and then it just flies out. But this was one of the biggest things. So we discussed the before, we discussed the time and the energy. Boom, here it is. The biggest thing was that it didn't feel natural to my journey. Yes, I was trying something out, but it just didn't feel natural to my journey. With cards, there are a lot of already set definitions behind each card, which is another reason why I may try. I'm good on the oracle cards because I feel like it just paints a picture, as opposed to the tarot. There's a picture and then there's a definition behind the picture. And for me, for what I read, and although readings were accurate, it just felt too mechanical. So not only did I have to use my energy to get into the zone or get into the frequency of the actual reading, but then I had to remember or look up a card's meaning and try and put my world and the cards together. That's just a personal thing. For some people, the tarot cards are really easy for them, and I have a memory issue. Like I can't remember a lot of things, so I'm going through having to do a lot of studying in that time period, and just going forward, I'm just not interested, just because it doesn't feel natural. It felt too much like get into the zone. Okay, I feel like we're vibing on a certain kind of level. I'm downloading, and then I have to pull this card, and it has a definition behind it. Oracle cards really, and that's why during my sessions a lot, I use the oracle cards, because they were more so the face to what I was downloading, and then here is the definition, or let's see how it works with the tarot card. So all in all, I will no longer do tarot consultations, just because I don't feel like it's so much for me. I do feel stable in my journey to go forward without them. And I just hope everyone understands oracle readings I may do in the future, or if you want to just talk, chit chat, they have a consultation on the side, I might do that in the future. But I just wanted to give you guys a rundown of why I stopped, my personal choices and my personal reasons. So peace and abundance and blessings and much love to you all. And dibble and dabble in your journey. It's your journey. Like, I didn't start because of anyone, and I didn't stop because of anyone. So much love.